Okay, good morning, everyone. Can you guys see my screen okay and hear me?
Yes.
Yes, great. Okay, so welcome to this week's episode of BlueSync. We are going to be covering CBDesk, just kind of doing a quick overview of everything that you can find in this platform, all of the little hidden things that are in here, because there is a lot. Keep in mind with CBDesk that this is a brand tool, so some of our stuff that is Schmidt specific, like testimonial tree and listings to leads, you will not find here, but we can always find those, as we know, in our lovely MoxieWorks Square. So getting started, of course, to access CBDesk, we're going to go to mycbdesk.com. And from there, you are going to log in with a username and a password. Your username is going to be first.last@coldwellbanker.com. So that is a little bit different, as we don't really use our Coldwell Banker emails, but for this, we do have them for their brand platform. So your password, you are always available to do the forgot password when you are logging in. Desk does use 2 factors, so keep in mind if you are using the platform on a browser or a device that you haven't in a long time, it will probably ask you to send it to your phone to get a code and log in that way. So just keeping it extra secure, we always love that. But that is something to keep in mind. I know sometimes that 2-factor can get a little bit frustrating and annoying at times, but it is always just to keep our stuff extra safe. So once we are logged in, we're going to be right here on our main dashboard. They have really a very clean look. The first thing that I like to point out is there is a search bar up across the very top, which allows you to search for anything that you might be looking for. So whether that is a specific app or you're wanting some help articles, anything like that, you can always type in what you're looking for and it will pull up results. You can also filter to whatever you are specifically looking for. If you're wanting only help center articles, for example, you can click that and it will only pull up things that are matching that description. Otherwise, you can keep it on everything and it will pull up any results. So for example, if I wanted marketing information, I could type in marketing. And you can see it gave me 211 results. This is going to pull up everything from where marketing was mentioned, the Marketing Center app, help articles, all of that good stuff. So it's very easy to find things using that search bar, and it is a really quick way to kind of go directly to what you're looking for instead of kind of digging around and trying to find it all yourself. If you do ever want to get back to your main home screen, all you have to do is click the desk icon in the upper left-hand corner. So I'm going to click there. It's going to bring us right back to home. Moving on with our other kind of things over here across the top in the right-hand corner, we have a profile icon. If we click that, the main thing that I want to point out is in settings and then in notifications. So we all know and love the CB Briefs email. We get it every week. You do have the ability to turn that off if you would like to. We do recommend that you keep it on, as there is important brand information that does come out in those emails. But if you're really hating it, you can always turn it off. So just like to point that out. You can access these CB Briefs newsletters within Desk as well. So if you do turn that off, and maybe you still just want to come in here on your own and read those, you can do that as well. And I'll show you where that is located in a moment. Next thing, next to that profile icon is just the notifications. So this is going to be where any notifications regarding, for example, the site maintenance for CBDesk will pop up, as well as any new news or anything that the brand has put out. So this is just a good way to kind of stay on top of what's currently happening. Next, we have our circle with the question mark in it, and that is going to be our help center. So if you click into that, you're going to see kind of a breakdown by each different tool on some basic help articles and things to kind of give you more information about that specific product. So there's a ton of stuff here. Again, if you're looking for one specific app that you want more information on, this is a great way to come in here and kind of find it. Otherwise, you can also click in the bottom right-hand corner, there's some little chat bubbles. And this is going to open up the chat AI option that is built into CBDesk. So this is super helpful if you're trying to find quick answers and maybe you don't want to dig around a ton on your own. This is a really nice way that you can just kind of type what you're looking for or ask a question. It also gives you some kind of basic template options that you can do. So if you have something wrong with your account and you want to submit a ticket, you can do that easily. There's a ton of different options for things that you can do right from here. I use this all the time. I think it's a super great tool. To close it, all you have to do is hit that X where those chat bubbles were previously. It will still remain open if you did send or start a chat with them. It will stay open for a while so you can go back to it and kind of see what the information was that you got. But that is super helpful there in the bottom right-hand corner as well. Next, we're going to take a look at this heart here, which is favorites. And if we click into that, we're just going to see some links for some different brand tools, different websites. But you do have the ability to actually add your own. So something that you could do here is use this as kind of a one-stop shop for all of your links. So say maybe you wanted to add your MLS login or anything like that. If you click this add a new favorite down at the bottom, it allows you to paste in a URL of any website that you want, and then you give it a name. And then you click add favorite, and it would then show up in this favorites list. So like I said, that's a really great way if you want to kind of keep all of your real estate links organized in one place. You can do that here. You can also go in and manage them. So if you want to remove any of these, you can. So good options there. The last thing over here across the top is going to be the My Apps in this cluster of dots. This is pretty much going to be the same exact thing that we see here in our main dashboard overview, but it's just going to show them in a more compact way of viewing them. So these are going to be all of the apps within CBDesk. So that's kind of it for the main bar across here. Now we're going to jump into this main section here for all of the apps. So as I said, this is where all of the different brand apps are located. You may find from time to time that an app disappears, or maybe it was never in your list here in the first place. You can add them. So you can either click this blue add an app up here next to where it says My Apps, or you can click down here at the bottom. When you do, it will give you a list of any apps that are not currently showing on your dashboard. So all you would have to do is select that app and then hit add, and it would populate it in here. Right there at the top, it populated it in. Now you also have the ability to organize your dashboard however you would like to. So you can drag and drop these wherever you want. So if you have a specific order you want to put them in, you can do that. You can also sort them over here on the right-hand side where it says custom sort. You can sort them by category, which is going to break it down into what that app is specifically designed for. Or you can do the custom option, which is going to bring it back to however you last had them drop and dragged. Most recent, which is going to show the things that you opened most recently in the order that you did so. And then you can also do alphabetical sorting as well. So however makes sense for you, you have the ability to kind of make that work in your favor. You can also choose to do them in a list view. I prefer this grid view where they're all spread out and pretty like that. but you can do a list view, which just keeps it very compact. And again, you can drag and drop these in whatever order you want, but if you don't want to see all those icons, you can change it to a list view. And then you can always search for an app too. If you don't want to look through here and find it, you can always just search for a specific app and it will pull it up here as well. So that's kind of the basics there of the apps in the center of the dashboard. Now we're going to move over to this left-hand navigation. So if yours looks a little bit different, it might be because you have the arrow drug over and it's just going to show these little icons unless you hover over it. If you want it to be open, all you have to do is click that circle there. That will allow it to stay open kind of permanently. So again, totally up to you and your preference, but two different ways of viewing it. So desk here is just going to bring us right back to our main home screen, our main dashboard. The next option here is brand. And as you can see, all of these have drop downs, so they have multiple options underneath them. So when I click on brand, it gives us a ton of different stuff here. Like I said before, you can go in and see CB briefs. So if you do shut them off to come to your email all the time, you can go back in here and kind of look through past CB briefs and still get all of the information from them if you would like. There's also a company directory. So this feeds off of Dash, so you can search for agents, staff, really anyone within the company. You can search specifically in this directory, which is super helpful as well. Moving on to the company dropdown. We don't really use this to keep our specific policies and procedures for Schmidt family of companies, but they do have a fair housing pledge that the brand recognizes. So that is there as well if you would ever like to look at that. Then the next one is going to be our marketing dropdown. This one has a ton of good information. First is going to be our advertising. So this is going to be where everything advertising related is kind of housed. So there's tons of good different social media plans, different frequently asked questions things, different assets that you can use on social media. Tons of good information here. There's also downloading national brand videos. And when I click this, it's going to open up Vimeo, which is just another video platform similar to YouTube. And this is going to be current videos that the brand keeps up to date that you can utilize on your website or on a YouTube page, really anywhere that you want to. And to use any of these videos, you just have to click into them. And then there is a option to download them here underneath the title. So again, super easy, great things to utilize for any of your marketing, whether it's social media, your website, any of that stuff. Now, since Vimeo did open in a new tab, I can just close out of that one and it will bring me right back to where I was in my desk platform. Now we're going to go into global luxury. This is another super helpful area. So this main screen is going to have just a ton of resources for global luxury, different, frequently asked questions, different flyers, that kind of stuff. Great tools to utilize. There's also information on certification. So this is going to show when there's upcoming classes to do the certification, and just kind of some basic information about the global luxury program. The threshold tool is also here, and this I use all the time to look up the threshold for different zip codes. So you just enter in the zip code here, and it will tell you what the minimum list price is that you have to have in order for the property to be considered global luxury. So super easy, super quick. Love it, use it all the time. It's a great tool to become familiar with. You also have the direct links to the global luxury website, so that's a very helpful tool as well. There's also listing presentations that are global luxury branded. So these are great as well to kind of click through and become familiar with. And then there's also the different marketing tools specifically geared towards global luxury, so Wealth Engine and concierge auctions. Again, great things to look into if you are wanting to become more familiar with some of the global luxury stuff. Next, we're going to jump out of global luxury and go into our logo gallery. So this is going to be where all of the company logos are housed. I'm going to type in Schmidt here. And you can see it pulls up all of our different Schmidt DBA logos, tons of different options, color combinations, all of that good stuff. So these are super great. Again, you can use these for any kind of marketing, anything that you may want. To download them, all you have to do is underneath the image, it's kind of small, but it shows, for example, on this one, PDF and PNG and EPS. So if I wanted to download it as a PNG, a picture file, I would just click that and it would allow me to do a quick download. So again, super easy way to find those logos and utilize them. Next is the media gallery. This is again just some basic brand logos, different images that is all available for anyone to use as well. There's different stuff if you kind of click through here. And then there is a social media section, which again just gives good tips, tricks, resources. There's a direct link to the Marketing Center app, which is built in to Desk, which is a great thing to use for any kind of social media marketing. You can do a lot of great stuff with that platform. That pretty much sums up the marketing section. Now, if we go to My Business, you have a bunch more options here. So this is where we can see award information. So different options for awards when that time comes around. There's also a section for referral rewards. Another great way to find just some basic information and help on that specific aspect of real estate. Buyers and sellers, there's some different presentations and guides here that are able to be utilized. Education, there is a quick little education videos down here that you can utilize as well. And then we also have the Global Referral Network down towards the very bottom as well. Now, the next thing is probably some of the best information, and that is where our business advantage is located. So underneath partners and services, we do have business advantage linked here. If you are unfamiliar with what this is, it's a great place where you can find discounts for staff, agents. Agents can use these codes for their clients for all kinds of different services. You can see there's rental cars, there's phone discounts, there's moving pod discounts. So this is a really great thing to kind of become familiar with. And as I said, staff can use this, agents can use it, they can use it for their clients. There's tons of good stuff in here that is great to utilize. And the very last section that we are going to go over is recruiting. So if you are staff or a manager, there is some great information here on recruiting. There's some different presentations and such, a Coldwell Banker video for recruiting, and just some great, materials to use in that process as well. So that pretty much covers the basics of CBDesk. Like I said, not going too in depth on any of the specific apps, but there is so much good information that is housed right within the actual app itself. So does anyone have any questions? I'll check the chat. Feel free to unmute if you have any questions as well. Okay. Well, thank you for joining me today. I hope that this was beneficial. As always, this video will be loaded into the Schmidt Video Classroom via YouTube later today. So have a great long holiday weekend, and we'll see you next time.